Nice. Ooh, nice. Oh, there you go. There you go. Okay. Good tackle, boy. How you doing, boy?
Good, how you doing?
It's nice. You let you go in the car?
I don't know where I think he went down and hold down the pin.
Oh, where's his help at? Oh, nice kick. That was good because I couldn't see that corner. Okay. Oh, that's moving. He should have offloaded. Yeah. That was just selfish. He should have offloaded. Yeah. Oh, man. What a kick. Get back. All right, 15. What do you got? What do you got, 15? Oh, nice. Get it. Oh, yeah. Sam Martin's going to get one here. Nice. Come on. Ball secure. Come on. That was a good kick. That was good.
Get him, Kaz! Get him, Kaz!
Oh, that was bad. But he got it.
Here we go, boys!
What happened there? That's right.
Yeah, Barbara!
Yeah, but he got it. He like stopped for a whole second and no one came up on him. Then he turned around and realized he didn't. He just goes in the hole. Yeah. He just he didn't realize.
Yeah, I think it's what is that? The ref is the only one.
Did you know that, Red?
No, he's too good for art. He's
No,
yeah, he's way better than anyone we've ever had ref.
From the distance, it looked like a Tory.
No, it's not. No. You're right. It does look like Gale.
Yeah.
I'll have a look. Yeah.
Oh, Mark.
Oh. Hey, so you're wrong. You got a completion.
Yeah, make yourself useful. Hold that corner so it doesn't blow up.
Okay. Is Marcus the new one that won that game?
His look like
Marcus! Line judges.
Nice, Will, come on. You gotta run hard, Will.
Have you seen Danielle? I didn't see her. She in the car?
Maybe she should get out with
I don't think she got out.
Very good kid. Very good kid. Don't kick it. Run. There you go. Run.
Nice.
There you go. Yeah. Oh. Too bad. Oh, what the hell? Whoa. Oh. Yeah, really good hands too. How did they drop the pass yet? Oh, who let that little kid tackle? That was fucked up. They didn't even double him, right? Oh! That's cool. That was good.
Tackle the cut.
Spun him around. He grabbed his collar and yanked him. Oh, you okay, Bo? You okay? Stand up. You're good. Oh, he just take his time or he just like that? That's what he's thinking. He has to go out there.
Yeah. I thought our 8 has a problem with that.
Is it a new guy?
No, he's been playing for a long time. He just kind of has a big ego.
first one I saw. I was
the yellow one.
Yeah. Yeah,
Bro, even just kicking it, that's not an easy ball to catch right now. So it's worth it.
yeah. They're kicking it means they have a good kick here. I found it.
I do appreciate a good throw every once in a while.
I've lost too many championship games. You guys thought they could play.
They made it. No way. It's hard, but
it's I mean, we should be kicking as much as possible.
I know right now, yeah.
Yeah, I was behind you. I think that stopped that last kick.
Yeah, I know.
Most definitely.
That's why I was confused. I was kind of go scrum. Go Cody. Go Cass. Yeah.
Calming down now. The big stuff is bouncing this down that way.
Keep the feet moving. Keep the legs.
Elijah, you okay? You good? Can you see good all right there? Hey, is Danielle down there with you?
Yeah! There you go, boys!
Damn.
That's close.
Not only the weather, now the players.
They're going for you.
Thank you for.
Yeah.
Let's go USD! Come on, boys! Come on!
It's either fight my crappy umbrellas or fight your umbrella. Nice throw.
Let's go! Go! Nice!
Hey, Charlie.
Daniel!
How's it going? Good to see you. Yeah.
I think it did. Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
7-7.
Is there a scoreboard?
There's not.
Let's go, Dennis!
You didn't miss any call. I don't want to pick it.
Don't pick it. Don't pick it.
Yeah.
I mean, what else can you do? I get it.
Fielded by UCSB, skips through one, shapes to have a kick, but bobbling on the ground, and we're going to see plenty of scraps around today, and it's USD that managed to grab that one. Josiah Laufeed, one of the local San Diego players here, would have played his high school rugby in San Diego, and now he's at USD playing at the collegiate level. But again, it really looks like UCSB are going to challenge the breakdown a lot today, isn't it?
Absolutely, Ian. As UCSB take a shot at goal. A reminder, they are 7-5 in the lead. Just been told that we're back on air. Myself, Will Hooley, Ian Dedham. I'll let you do the introduction again, but we're 7-5, and this could make it 8-5 to UCSB here at Manchester Field. Toreros in D1A action. Great to see them in D1A action as well.
Yeah, thanks, Will. If you've just joined us, you're here at one of the rainier days in San Diego down at Manchester Field. The rain has stopped and the wind is dying down. And right now we're at 7 points to 5. USD scoring right off the kickoff. Not taken, and we got one of our back rowers trouncing into the corner, but UCSB managed to get themselves on the board and knock that conversion over, so it is still 7-5. And we will have a 22 dropout.
Not the best strike there from the number 10 of the UCSB. Hit that conversion beautifully on the near side, near towards the touchline, so it still remains 7-5. And now that wind really has died down, Ian, and I wonder for the Toreros whether they can maybe use their kicking tactics a little bit more, trying to find a bit more territory.
Restart goes to the middle of the pitch, and it's a big second rower is going to have a carry for UCSB. He's met well, and it's just about over the halfway line, but a little scoot around the fringe there from UCSB brings them forward. A good pass from the 9 goes to the forward pod, and they pull it out the back there. Look like they're going to try set that up a little bit and add some width to things when they can. But it's still a wet day, and ball goes out the back now to the 10, and again he looks to go wide or to the middle of the pitch this time. They have a couple of strong running second rowers and a 10 who can organise things and move. Looks like that's advantage as well for not rolling away at the deck. That's Josiah Loifi, as we said, a local boy from here, San Diego, plying his trade with USD now. And again, we're going to opt for the penalty. He struck the first conversion extremely well, didn't get the same connection on the last penalty, but he's going to give himself another go. Yeah,
for the Toreros, the discipline is going to be really crucial for them in this first half, where there is a little bit of a wind favour, clearly a bit of a wind favour, because this is best part of pretty much a 50-metre kick right on the halfway line here at Manchester Field. A simple penalty, not releasing or not rolling away, in the breakdown enables UCSB now to have a potential 3 points.
Good silence here in the lower field is broken by that fantastic strike of the ball, but it doesn't have the energy to get all the way over the bar. And USD are going to carry it out from the own 22, and it's been a territory battle so far that USD haven't won. Let's see if they can boot the ball, but they're not. They pop down the short side, and he manages to stay in play. And they're opting now for multiple phases inside their own 22. USD with just one player back in the backfield. Ball goes to the boot now, takes a bounce. It's our 10 for UCSB that catches, has a little step off the right foot, manages to evade one tackle, but he's met again by Dean Rapetti, who goes back for more. Couple of numbers on the short side, which the 9 opts for, but then has a little scoot. He's just scragged by the shoelaces, and it goes out wide now. Couple of decent phases from that exit from UCSB, but just a knock on. It really looks like they're trying to have a couple of carries, then putting the 10 in position out the back and try add a little bit of width, even on this rainy day.
And you've got to respect it, Ian, as well, because the team that's going to win today is also going to be not just the team that shows the control and obviously the territory advantage, but actually throws some risk, goes for something. You've got to go and still back your skills, even in these difficult conditions. I've been impressed so far by the halfbacks for UCSB. The sniping around the breakdown from the 9, keep an eye on him. He's doing a real fine job on just keeping those pillar defenders honest for Toreros. Toreros get this ball back, though, from the knock-on, so can they mount some form of attack from the scrum?
Blindside wingers just sitting on the inside of 10, so it looks like they have a pre-planned strike play. Ball goes now. Just drops the body for a carry to get them over the gain line, and they're going to bring that big, strong forward pack around the corner. And again, a couple of phases, and they haven't got gain on, and it's again that breakdown that really looks like the style play in defence for UCSB, which is challenging that breakdown anytime they can.
It's interesting from UCSB, just even though the Toreros are coming in numbers, they're not very effective. That first person who's looking to clear out, obviously in rugby, it's so important if you want to retain ball to be able to clear out the opposition from the breakdown and play the ball away. But for the first person coming in, once that man has been tackled, he's not really doing a job. He's not really getting a shirt or getting someone out the way from the UCSB defence. So need to be a bit more effective in that area. And as for UCSB, some really good turnovers.
Santa Barbara again opting to try knock 3 points over. We would have said about 15 minutes before kickoff, Will, that points would be scarce today, just with the strength of the wind and the amount of puddles on the pitch, but it's dying down now, and the boys will be able to play a little bit as that one goes wide. And again, we find ourselves in a very similar situation again, or the same one, I should say, where USD are trying to just exit, get up the other half of the pitch. The only time they might have been up there is from the very first kickoff where they've gone in for a try.
Now for UCSB, it's been, I think now the third penalty goal that they've gone from at 50-metre range, and it hasn't worked. Wonder for them if they get another opportunity. Use the wind, kick it into the corner, build some phases inside the Toreros 22.
Rona Rook taps that one to the middle of the pitch, and just as the Santa Barbara back rower went for the pass, it just slipped out of his fingers. And USD are going to play it now. Just pops to the right-hand side. Again, we have our blindside winger standing there, first receiver, which is unorthodox, but we like to see it working off the ball. Doesn't go forward, and we can see it's that big second row pod of the 5 and the 7. But again, just a little bit of a knock as the ball just to his inside shoulder there, and it was hard to grab. It looks like maybe USD want to simplify things for a little bit.
I think that was just a matter of passing accuracy, and how important is that going to be today? The ball slightly behind the attacker makes it so much harder, whether it's raining or not, but particularly in these conditions where the ball's like a bar of soap in. But anyway, we're coming back for the first initial knock-on, which was from UCSB. So for the Toreros, midfield scrum, I clearly think they're still not going as that kicking policy. That wind is sort of gusting around, going into it. But this is a good attacking platform, as you say, maybe just trying to settle themselves and build some phases, keep control of the ball.
USD with the 4-2 split on the backs, meaning they've got 4 on one side and 2 to the left. They also, of course, have the ability for the 9 to have a little bit of a carry, so very hard position to defend for Santa Barbara as the ball gets fed. Our 10 loops back now, and it does go to the left hand side, looks to put a big one over the top, but just a hand comes out, and again a hand comes out from Santa Barbara, and our winger's going to take it all the way home. The cheers from the Santa Barbara team in the end zone. All their subs absolutely stoked with that one. But Will, like we said before, possibly just with the rainy day, a little too complex with that first phase or the setup. It looks like he maybe even went for a skip pass over to the edge, but the middleman put the hand up as is to say, was that for me? And after that knock on, 14 took it all the way home.
And you know what, Ian, it was credit from the UCSB 9. He followed the passage of play so well. It was a decoy move, looking to go right, Toreros, to then come back left. And you're right, it wasn't necessarily complicated, but the passing and everything ended up being very flat and ended up being quite man and ball in the end. It was quite simple for the defense to get on top of it. I just wonder, that extra bit of depth might have enabled the Toreros to get round the outside. They didn't, and UCSB got hold of the ball and they've gone for 5 points.
And a few failed conversion attempts, and the 10 is shaking his head as he makes his way back. He's had a few efforts on goal. He does strike the ball well, but this one doesn't make it over. It's 12 points to 5 right now. Apologies if that scoreline on the feed is different, but we are 12 points to 5 here at Manchester Field. USD scoring right off the bat, and again, simple from Santa Barbara, not messing around in their own 22. It does look like they might have the wind at their backs a little bit, so the exit's gone well. 10 can't field, but again, eyes are up and he checks the space in behind. Little bit of a chip kick, but that's gone out in the full, directly out. So the line out for USD is going to be back from where the ball was kicked. And you can see by the faces on the USD boys now, a little bit more urgency to say that we've lost the ball in contact with a few turnovers. We've lost our last set piece with the backs. Let's just maybe simplify things here.
Well, they didn't start particularly well. I mean, you wouldn't have seen it if you had just joined us in terms of them from the kickoff. I think Toreros might maybe have got the quickest try in D1A history. But now, yeah, Santa Barbara back into things. But Toreros, now this is like the first attack inside Santa Barbara's half for the best part of the last 10-15 minutes.
Josiah Laifi with the peel play from the line out around the corner. They've had 2 forward carries in a row. That's for Petty as well. to that second row and front row pod with the second rowers and our tight head prop, and you can see them bringing a little bit more width now as it's just picked through the fringe, and maybe they are simplifying things now. That's a lot of carries from the big boys. They say, backs, don't worry about it here for the moment. And just as I say, that ball spits out. It's our number 13, Will Briggs, who manages to gather. That's a fantastic carry there, and rather than risk losing the ball at the breakdown, looks like the forwards are latching on, so they're saying, I'm going to be here at the tackle already, you're not getting near that ball. They're really tucking it under the jumper here. Fantastic outside latch, and it's a great bit of work here from this USD pack so far. It does go out to the 10, who looks to offload a little bit, but tucks it close to himself. That's our number 8 now. Dennis White has the carry just inside the 15-metre channel on the edge, and they're probably just inside the 22 as well. Up call from the Santa Barbara D, and it's our hooker who has another fantastic carry as well. He was the one who started this whole move with the peel from the line out. Our front row pod goes through. A couple of strayed bodies from the Santa Barbara players on the deck there. And we must be at possibly double-digit phases here for the moment as it goes out to our 13, Briggs. He slips away from one. Well, good bit of possession here from the USD boys. And again, it's those same numbers looking to make carries again. We've got our hooker, we've got our second rowers. We've got a winger all the way out here on the edge with his hand up, but it doesn't really look like anyone's going to give it to them here for the moment. Stout defence from Santa Barbara, everyone working hard. But they're right under the sticks now, and it's our big second rower, number 4, Wyatt Boswell, who gets through. We talked about simplifying the game plan, and they've done exactly that. Big one-man carries, getting a yard or a metre at a time. Great work, Will, isn't it?
Great patience, great consistency in their attack there from the Toreros. You said it, Ian, just coming round in numbers, but very specific with who was carrying the ball. Making sure that they got their latches on and they were effective in the breakdown. That allowed that ball, or it allowed no compete at the breakdown from UCSB. That is why the Toreros just kept coming. I was pretty impressed by Santa Barbara's overall defense. But at the end of the day, it's that patience from the Toreros. They came in numbers, they came with power, and they get their second try of the game.
Ronan Rourke is going to line this one up to try to bring the sides level. Couple of easy steps, and Ronan Rourke pops that one over. And you can see a little bit of grit there from the USD pack in that last set of phases, especially the 2 second rowers, Wyatt Boswell, Teddy Montague, 2 big units who have carried consistently well here through that last phase.
I think we also might even potentially see the first bit of bright sky, Ian, today. Wonder whether we've seen the worst of the weather here in Southern California. Can't believe it. It's been absolutely chucking it down. It is 12 all. USD 12, UCSB 12. And it's been a lot of action, Ian, even in these tricky conditions. Credit to both sides.
A little bit more of a chip kick on the restart, goes to the left-hand side, and Santa Barbara right back into their defensive stance. You can hear them calling up, you can hear them launching with a little bit of pressure put on the kicker, and again, it's our 10, Santa Barbara, who goes to field and doesn't manage that. As we said, we're going to see a few of them today. The knock-on comes, and USD are going to have another chance at a set piece here.
They are. As for Santa Barbara, the 15, the fullback came in from a long way away. I looked at the distance he was coming in from. Maybe didn't need to be so far in the backfield. It is still a little bit of a breeze that the Toreros are going into. He asked a lot of himself to catch that running so far forward in these conditions. Unfortunately spilling it. But now for the Toreros, they've looked really good at the scrum. Really impressed by Going and Asley, the 1 and 3, the juniors, looking like a strong platform.
Ball goes in and does go to 10. He's look to tap that across the pitch nearly to put some pressure back on the 14, and he really does. It's scattered so well and offloaded to our number 11 there, Von Fowles, and he taps it back on the inside. That's Briggs, shows the handoff and just nearly manages to hold on to it there, but I think it was nearly in the tackle. It was such a wet ball. Referee calls a penalty. Was it for a high shot, Will? He's not going to let him tap it that quick.
It was UCSB playing it on the floor. Great work from Will Briggs. Really strong first half from the 13 for the Toreros. He's been busy, he's been aggressive. Bit of fortune. The ball ended up in his hands from the mistake from the UCSB winger. Has now led Toreros to be about 5-10 meters out. They're going to tap and go here.
Kaz Astley and Cody going, making up the numbers on a front row pod there, who latch on and absolutely barge over the line. Again, gritty work from USD. That's Josiah Laifi again with the full front row pod, barging over from 5 meters out. But that really came from simplicity off that set piece, gone straight to a 10, and he said, I'm just going to put pressure on the fullback, I'm going to kick, which he did. But fantastic chasing from Briggs.
Yeah, you've got to give credit to the man who, I like to call that almost an assist. The chase, the aggressive nature in how he was trying to win that ball and then get the offload, then get back and play. A double touch, double involvements from Will Briggs really helps set up that passage of play, or certainly the pressure put on to Santa Barbara. And that's then where the penalty came from. Great work from the big lads of the Toreros. Charlie Pern will be happy with that. And that's the third try for USD today.
It was a great chase by Johnny Butler initially, number 14 here for USD. Ronald O'Rourke won't be happy with that one, but he'll be happy with the scoreline. 17 points to 12 for USD against Santa Barbara.
Important for USD as we enter the sort of last 10 or so minutes of this first half. If they can go into the halftime break with a lead, then with the wins behind their backs, not just physically but also mentally, how much of a positive that will be. As for Santa Barbara, they've been excellent in taking their opportunities, and the couple that they have had, they now want to try and get a little bit more of possession as well as territory.
Restarts fielded very well by Wyatt Boswell. He's got through a lot of work in this first half so far. And no messing this time from USD. Tap it straight back to the 10 and have a go at an exit and put pressure right back on that Santa Barbara back three, which they do really well. And again, that's Johnny Butler with the chase. Good tackle, but he's adjudged to possibly playing it on the ground on the far side. I didn't see it myself, we're a little bit too far away, but give a chance for Santa Barbara to bring territory all the way down.
Great kick. Look at that, straight into the puddle over there. Head coach Charlie Purden will be disappointed, though, every time that Santa Barbara have got a chance inside the half of the Toreros, or even, inside the 22 of the Toreros. It's been through ill discipline. Great shot. You can see the ball just sort of floating around. Look at that standing water over there. That's insane. Credit to the field out here at Manchester Field for just holding up with all this water on it. Obviously artificial turf, but still, we have had a deluge earlier today.
Santa Barbara have shortened their line out. Little bit of misdirection. They pop it up to the front. But that one's crooked. It's not straight into the line out, so it will be a scrum down for USD. They've scrummed well and they've really simplified things here in this last 10 or 15 minutes. Since that midfield split scrum where things just didn't go to plan, they ended up giving up a try. So they've said, we're going to put boot the ball any chance we have, and it's really worked out well, Will.
Yeah, it has. And that word control, talked about it in terms of the ill discipline allowing UCSB inside their 22, but also those mistakes as well. Try and cut them out, have better discipline, and Toreros overall in this half have shown more control.
Great nudge again down this right-hand side. It is fielded. And Santa Barbara are going to go high back, and that's Ron O'Rourke who fields. Apologies, that's Daniel Surr who fields the 10 as we pop right down to the short side here.
Great
The ball
hands.
gets transferred across. Von Fouts puts the foot down. Great carry as he's got 5 Santa Barbara defenders around him. Going to the big front row pod now, or second row pod I should say. And again, that slippy day. The slippy day we've seen plenty of them, and we're going to see a few more, but that's Von Fouts just up the left hand side. He looks like he has a bit of pace, doesn't he? Put on a little bit of a fend, a little bit of a bump, and took about 3 of them to bring him down there at one stage.
Big lad, making some big moves, get the ball into his hands as much as possible and get him off his wing as much as he can. The number 11 for USD. Just a slight handling error for the Toreros. Got to keep these passes as accurate as possible. Tough ask for the big men, catching the ball above their heads.
Pressure gets put on the Santa Barbara scrum by USD, who are doing well, and real scrappy ball, which Dennis White was, just a tap off the chest there. Is the ref going to give it? He doesn't. Daniel Surr will be happy with that one as he carries up to the halfway line, and it looks like that's Briggs just dropping into the pocket there. He was going to kick, but they won't need it. They've won themselves a penalty. Good work there from Daniel Surr on a couple of occasions, cleaning things up in the backfield. He had a real tricky one to take where that's just bobbling along a wet ground on your way, and had a little bounce off his chest, but referee says it doesn't go forward, and they win the penalty in the end. We're going to have a look at this set piece again. If it does go to touch, which it doesn't, and lines get cleared now, and that's an unreal effort to find territory. One pass goes, and it goes back to O'Rourke, who's going to switch the play over to the far side of the pitch, and he sees that there's no one at home, and there's a big chase on now. It's Briggs. Well done there from those chasing backs at USD. That's Will Briggs and Johnny Butler there, both of them working as hard as they can, and they say we're not waiting around.
Was that man again, Will Briggs, the number 13 for the Toreros. Really impressed by his first half. It's the work off the ball, that's what was so good from the way he just went for that kick. The kick is quite literally only as good as his chase. He got back to his feet, he was part of the tackle released and got the turnover. That's where the first penalty came from as we come back for a scrum. But ultimately, fantastic work by the Toreros 13. Really deserved probably more than just a turnover, maybe even a try to his name.
Dennis White pops around to the short side and drops the shoulder, and he manages to go direct in from the scrum, 5 metres out. The number 8 says, I don't need any help, I'll pick that one down the short side. If there's a winger in front of me, I'm going over him.
Great scrum, great platform. And it's just the pick and go around that blind, as you say, Ian. Just catching maybe the UCSB defense a little bit off guard and getting over for that 4th try. But I've got to hand it again to the centre of USD, Will Briggs. It was from his kick chase, his turnover. That is how the pressure was mounted on Santa Barbara. That is where the penalty came from. And in the end, a few phases later, and then a scrum later on the 5 metre line, they capitalised with a try. Great score from the number 8, but really the pat on the back still goes to the number 13, Will Briggs of the Toreros.
And just as we line up this tricky conversion from the edge, you can see as the full USD team get together in the centre to get a bit of water, there's a little bit more of a calmness, a little bit more of an assurity now after what was a pretty scrappy start to the game. O'Rourke has a good go at it, but it doesn't make it over. And we're going to stay at 22-12. Just as our commentary booth tent nearly went about 2 miles down the road.
Need to get you on the field. That sort of handling. Brilliant catch. And this is a good first half from the Toreros. They'll be very happy. Charlie Purden, the coach, will be happy overall, I think. Now remember, for a lot of Toreros parents and fans maybe watching, this is a bit of a turnover. A lot of guys have graduated, new side, new league as well. D1A, they've gone up a standard and with fresh faces. It's a big ask. Need to start well in this match today. Exciting time for Toreros rugby.
That's Wyatt Boswell doing the hard yards, and it goes back to Briggs. Again, we've seen this sequence before, just a hard carry and then putting pressure back on the Santa Barbara back three. Offload out of the tackle, and he's met well by, that's Dean Rapetti. But Santa Barbara not waiting this time, and a big one gets put over the top. And this man's on the double today if he can. He skips past one. Very fleet-footed there on the edge. Ball goes back to the 10 again. They're looking to go wide. He just manages to hold on to it, and USD defense is slightly stretched here. That's 3 sets of hands, and we've gone from one wing to the other. And I tell you what, Will Hooley, in any level of rugby, if you can go wide, getting it through 7 passes in a row, that is good play.
Buddy, I am just clapping here. That is sensational. And I don't know who's counting maybe of the weekend, the try of the weekend, but that's got to be up there. From UCSB, as you say, Ian, it's not just going wide to wide, it's in these conditions as well. Excellent play. It was a little bit of hot potato in the midfield, but they got the ball to the space. Loved the way how the fly half for UCSB is trying to dictate play, and that first ball over the top to his winger, and then he gets it out the back for the next phase, getting it from wide to wide. That is brilliant rugby. And again, I say that in tricky conditions. Credit to everyone involved. I'm pretty sure Ian, everyone touched the ball in that passage of play as well.
It's a fantastic piece of work. You can also see it was a 10 that lined up this kick that gave that just a big floater over the top to the edge. And as soon as they did get to the 22, called for it again. They're looking to try to get it right back in his hands to bring it all the way to the far side of the pitch. So he's the main man. He's the guy who's calling the shots here, and the conversion does not go over, but it's still a tight game, and it's 22-17 right now to USD. A couple of hands on hips as we get close to the end of the half.
You're thinking in terms of momentum, just going into the locker rooms, to the halftime break. How much of a buzz will that now give Santa Barbara? Just where the Toreros are picking up the momentum, scoring, 3 tries in a row. But now just with UCSB having that little bit of good momentum with that fantastic try going into halftime, might be absolutely what they need.
Daniel Sura puts a long one down, and that's returned, but caught very well. And Ronan O'Rourke and Daniel Sura look to counter-attack together. It does go to Sura now, but it's a little bit behind him. He chips it on the left foot down into the corner, and it's tapped. So if it does go out, it will be a USD line out, but our 10 for Santa Barbara does well. And it's a little bit of kick tennis now, which we love to see, Will. O'Rourke feels a little slow trot to the edge, and he puts it on the right boot and finds his touch, and he says, let's end this now. We've had enough. And it looks like, again, is that the halftime whistle? Looks like it is. And at halftime, USD 22, UCSB 17.
So here we go in this league game. D1A, early part of the season. Certainly rusty, but you can't blame the players with the difficulty of the conditions. Both have had their moments, both have had opportunities that they've taken. There's been plenty of errors, but credit to both sides. Both trying to play rugby, both trying to move the ball. It'll be a matter of who can have game control in the second half. USD will have the wins at that back. As for Santa Barbara, they will be playing into the wind. Will that make a crucial difference? I'm unsure. Look at the amount of rain we have had. Credit also, you've got to say, to the production company, just to even get this camera and feed going. Credit to TVX Sports Video.
No, TVX Sports have absolutely crushed this TVX Sports Video. It's been covering sports in San Diego and around the country for nearly 20 years, and they're committed to bringing you the best live, local and emerging sports. Smash the like button and hit subscribe to show your support for our official broadcast partner, TVX Sports. We're back at Manchester Field here at USD in San Diego. One of the rainier days we've seen in a while, but we still have seen some fantastic action here on the pitch. It's USD ahead 22-17 right now, but a close one. We have seen Santa Barbara score a couple of worldy tries, and all of the hard work from the kick chase from USD has paid off so far. A couple of last words from head coach Charlie Purden to these boys as we get the second half underway. Ref blows the whistle and this one gets tapped up and taken by our number 6 Brandon Guiducci. Little tight carry there from our front row pod. Looks like we have a couple of subs on the pitch now. Sasha Cox making his way onto the field, and that's Daniel Sir, who puts boot to ball early in the half, and ball gets floated over the top, and right away a territory win here for USD as the tackle gets made just outside the 22, and counter ruck comes in from the big number 8 Dennis White as Santa Barbara look to clear the lines, and they do that. That's Rowan Rourke, who doesn't want to slow things down at all. He wants to feed it in quick.
Well, it's a very Toreros style of attack. I know they want to play quick. I would say actually these conditions probably don't favour the way that Charlie Purden's team wants to play. But they've got to make sure they're tidy in these areas. Great set piece. Continue to be good at the set piece. Exactly the kind of thing that Toreros will want to be strung at.
Full line out there from USD, and they've opted for that same peel play with our hooker coming around the corner, and then our big number 8 White takes the first carry. We're going to see our second row pod, who did so well in the first half, have their first carry the second. And again, they're tucking it under the jumper. Not too much rugby being played here. They're going to just have some forward pods and bash it up for a little bit, make Santa Barbara make some tackles. A bit of a knock there from Laifi. It's judged to go backwards though, as our 9 still plays to the right hand side. Nice latch from on the outside shoulder there. That's our flankers Brandon Guiducci and Sam Carlson there with the carry. Has a little bit more width now as Rourke gets through the hands to Briggs. And ball was just a little bit too low for Rapetti, who does knock on, but even though not too many yards gained, they'll be happy just to hold on to the ball in the second half, get a few phases, a few carries.
Yeah, the intent was definitely there, and picking the men off, just flattening up a little bit too early. And again, these are all things that will come into play as the season goes on, and it's really been tested in difficult conditions. Great seeing the Toreros. They were involved in the West Coast Sevens not that long ago, so switching from more of a Sevens focus to a 15s focus, those tighter plays, those 4-on-3s rather than just the big 2-on-1s, and you're getting 7s. It's just different style of rugby.
And a big shove from the front row of USD puts pressure on. And a little chip for the starter from the 10 from Santa Barbara. It's worth a go on those sometimes, isn't it?
I've been impressed by this young man.
Hey, Joseph,
I said near the beginning of this game how the halfbacks for the UCSB have looked lively, have looked like they can create things. Good footballer, this number 10 as well. Just a few shots at goal, probably a little bit out of his range, but overall, they're threats. And I think we're yet, Ian, to really see Santa Barbara, for them, pull together multiple phases. We saw that one try, which was from coast to coast, from one side of the pitch to the other. But for the moment, they're just struggling to keep hold of the ball.
No messing around here, as I think O'Rourke has realised that he could have been on for a 50-22 there, and he tries to find that corner. But it's fielded by the back three of Santa Barbara, who again brings us up to that same line-out position that we had at the start of the first half. But O'Rourke says, I ain't messing around. I don't want to see a line-out. I want to play rugby. Laifi with the carry again. And we're going to pop back to the short side. That's a big Astley with the carry. Teddy Montague this time. And a nice little pick around the fringe there. Sam Carlson drives the legs, gets us forward just outside the 22 as we hear a couple of cheers from the USD crowd.
Great ball.
O'Rourke, Briggs has a little show and go, comes back in and bounces off one. Lovely. We're just to the 22 now, as again, ball gets tucked, shoulders get dropped, and they're driving forward towards the line. You can see that outside latch there again from Gauchos, who's doing some great work. That looks like a pot of subs there. Cole Dennis and Sasha Cox bringing us just under the 6 here, trying to get the first score of the second half. It's 22-17. Can they stretch that lead? But Santa Barbara again challenged that breakdown, which they did so well at the start of the first half. Sasha Cox there with the carry, bringing us meters away. And O'Rourke trying to do it himself, tries to pop the offload away. Xavier Flock just can't hold on to it. He probably wasn't really expecting the offload to come, but nice passage of play, but they'll be disappointed they didn't get the finish there with that one, Will.
O'Rourke, I could see exactly what he was doing. He had a wonderful pass. A few phases earlier on the far side, I saw exactly what he saw. There's 9 wrapped around him, and the offload, if it went to hand, he was in, but just as it was happening, with the building momentum close to the line, I don't know, the 50-50 offload is maybe not what you want to go towards, but just the consistency in these carries, they're coming in with numbers, Toreros. They scored a try just from going through those kind of phases in the first half. Keeping hold of the ball, staying patient, will mount to points, I'm sure of it. They will be disappointed with that knock-on.
And as the ball gets kicked, they're going to go from across field from their own 22,
wow.
And it's nearly taken. But it's picked up well now. That's O'Rourke. He's all over the pitch today. Fotes has a carry, and what was a really ambitious cross field has turned out to be a change of possession now, and they're USD right back where they were inside the 22, but it's stolen. It's just ripped out of the tackle there from Santa Barbara. Just looked to put his flag up there at one stage. We're not seeing what he's seeing, and we're bundled right into the puddles there. But the referee has seen the call there. I think it's a high tackle attempt, and Santa Barbara will get the opportunity to clear the lines with a penalty. What about the cross field from your own 22?
You got to applaud it. As I say about this 10 for UCSB, he is not afraid. It was nearly absolutely pinpoint. Was it risky? Yes, in these conditions still, as the rain is not coming down. Actually, the sun is starting to come out a bit. It was still a little bit ambitious, but you've got to love the ambition. And in the end, it caused enough problem in that Toreros were on the back foot and UCSB get the turnover. As I've mentioned already, I would love to see Santa Barbara really try and build some phases now. They've struggled to go past sort of 3 or 4 phases, but when they have got something together, they've looked threatening.
Ball is stolen at the line out. And again, USD find themselves in that similar shape with Sam Carlson carrying from our 9. Ball gets popped out the back to O'Rourke, who says, we're going to challenge you with a little bit of a cross kick of our own, but it's fielded and then offloaded and then stabbed through, and it'll be another kick chase here. That's Soar who slides on the ball. He must be allowed to get up, which he is.
You know, it might be.
And it's blue and white jerseys coming back, trying to win that ball, but they can't. It's a penalty at the breakdown. Santa Barbara 9 has a scoot, and he looks like he's held up. Is he even over the line yet? Looks like he is. A little bit of pushing and shoving.
Yeah, it was me. And my SDI cable, when I go way far right, gets stretched.
And let's see what the ref has to say.
Oh, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Double pump of the whistle, and he's just going to have a few words with. I think that's Ronan O'Rourke.
When I went very far right, it stretches. So I'm wondering.
But it was held up over the line, and it is going to be a goal line dropout. And that's Sur, who's not wasting any time in getting this underway. It's stabbed just outside the 22 there.
All right, then maybe it's
fielded by Santa Barbara, who get through one pass and another. And there's a big second rower who carries an anger just up inside the 22, and a great clean out from Santa Barbara again. Decent attempt at the poach there from Josiah Loifi, but just rolls off his feet and rolls away, and it's a 10 there from Santa Barbara, who's going to have a little step himself. 22-17 right now, and the pressure's back on USD. They had two occasions to score up in the other end of the half, but they couldn't, and now it's Santa Barbara who are knocking on the door. Stout defense from USD. Looks like a couple of tired bodies, couple of hands on hips, but still manage a great launch, and Briggs just tries to grab that one and it's knocked forward. Apologies, that's Repetti. Just tries to grab it out of the air there, and it just goes forward right out of the hand, and referee pulls a yellow for it. That's such a tricky one. If it doesn't really look like you make an attempt to have a full catch of the ball, sometimes you might get that yellow. That's a little bit of a tough one though, is it?
I'm going to say, unfortunately for Toreros fans and parents maybe watching, that is probably the correct call. Certainly a penalty, and if it's deemed now with the rules of if you're denying a sort of 2-on-1 on the outside or whatever it might be, that's why a yellow card has been put in place. There was no way he was catching that ball, and Repetti just putting that hand out needed to show more of an effort, and that is why UCSB have the penalty. That is why Toreros are down to 14 men.
And just like in the first half, Santa Barbara have opted for the penalty to try take three. They seem to think that points might be scarce in this second half, and that one's really well tapped over.
Great strike from UCSB's number 10. Had a few misses in the first half, just with maybe not quite having the legs, but certainly had it on that one. And Santa Barbara just chipping away at this scoreboard. 22 points to 20 now, with only a 2-point lead for the Toreros, and they've got a man in the bin. So control is going to be everything. Play the rugby in the right areas and win the territory. Wouldn't surprise if we see a little bit more kicking from the Toreros.
You said yourself that you want to see the Santa Barbara team build phases, but it's not really something that they're looking to be doing. They look like to seize opportunity through cross fields, and then even any chance they have a penalty, looks like they're going for sticks as well. So it looks like they're trying to accumulate some points by opportunity and through penalties. Opportunity,
yeah, I think that was perfectly said there, Ian. What I think about through this game is those couple of tries in the first half, again, were from the mistakes or ill discipline of the Toreros, and credit then to Santa Barbara for taking advantage. This is an area, though, unfortunately for them, they are, I was going to say, for the Toreros, they're going to have to make sure it's steady. Sorry, I'm just wondering what the referee's called. Is it a reset on the line out? The last thing Torero needs is seeing this not go in their favour. But anyway, yeah, Santa Barbara have the ball. And like we've said, Ian, can they just get through some phases?
Montague had gone up for the first one there, but it's adjudged not to be straight and gets put up to challenge the next line out for Santa Barbara as the ball gets popped out the back. And again, they look to maybe go wide. It's a great launch out of the line from Sur, who again gets up on his feet and counter-rucks. And it's Briggs who manages to get his hands on the ball. A little bit of width on the right-hand side, but Sam Carlson says, I'm going to carry right around the fringe here and put some pressure on the middle D for Santa Barbara. Cody going with the carry. He's assisted with his other front row forwards. Brankin Graducci with the carry. And we're going to go to the right now. Ball's on the ground and Briggs can't hold it. And to turn over to Santa Barbara just as that sun is starting to come through here at Manchester Stadium. Ball's back in the possession of Santa Barbara. And our 10
good kick,
clears his lines and manages to find some grass. Rourke, little show, little dummy, and he looked like he was nearly going to offload through contact, and the referee says it's gone straight down, it hasn't gone forward, so USD will retain possession. Great carry from Dennis White. That's Torres Capuste off the bench in the front row as Briggs says, no messing around this time, I'm going to play that game. That's practically worked for them in the first half, which is playing territory. It's fielded well by the Santa Barbara 10, who's Got through a lot of work today. And if it is a territory battle, it's being won right now by Ronan O'Rourke, Daniel Surr and the USD team. Big wide one over the far side. He might spot some space down the far corner, but Surr says, I'm going to carry this time, and it just comes out of the hands, and it's a knock forward. And then
that's the decision making from Toreros, which is, it's hard because when you see some space you do want to go to it. But I'm just, what we've talked about in terms of the territory, they've got they're a man down. They have that slight wind behind their backs. I'm just wondering whether just to stay in that kicking battle a little bit longer. Just have that patience. No need to play out of your own half unnecessarily and just put yourself under pressure. That is exactly what happened there, and credit to Santa Barbara. Turnover happens, penalty, and we talk about winning the territory battles. Look what happens now. Santa Barbara have an opportunity inside the Toreros 22, and for me, Ian, that was purely down to lack of control at the back from the USD team.
yeah, he just spotted a little bit of space and had a carry, but again, that ball has slipped out numerous times from players as you hold it against the hand and the jersey. Ball gets put out the back again, and Santa Barbara are going to go wide all the way. Winger just can't hold on to it, but they do look dangerous when they go wide, don't they?
They look like a one-shot kill. They look like a one-shot kill kind of team, and it comes and stems through fly half for UCSB. Fantastic ball to his fullback, cutting out a couple of players, leading to what might have been a 2-on-1 in the end. Just have a look at this. This is a beautiful pass. And then that 2-on-1, just try to get the ball away. I thought for a moment that was probably forward anyway, not forward by the winger. But it just feels like UCSB, sorry, and they get one shot, they really look to try and take it.
Great slow-mo replay there from the TVX team. And a clearance is a good one. Brings play just up to that, about the halfway line. Wind on the backs here of USD, and it doesn't look like they're going to go away from that game plan of kicking anytime soon. I know that we did have one where we just lost the ball in contact, and no, seemed to be a lot of space available, but the backfield really is the option, Will, isn't it?
It is, and you've just got to think about how tricky it is to control this ball. Mentioned how it's like a bar of soap, therefore that 50-50, if it's on, you want to still play, but sometimes it might be better to actually not have the ball.
A little bit of confusion at the line out there, and the ball is not clean, but again, great insight from you, Will. You mentioned one shot kill. It looks like that's what they're doing. Either one shot from a penalty kick, get themselves 3, or if they do go to the line out, they're like, we're going to try score off a first phaser.
And they've been pretty clinical overall. Was it their second try? The going from wide to wide was a delightful bit of play. I would challenge anyone from this weekend's college rugby action to have seen a better try, or well-worked better try from UCSB in the first half, but they'll be wondering about how they can just get a little bit of extra territory, win that territory battle to then control the ball, because then they've been threatening. For Toreros now, can they mount an attack? Man down, but a good scrum platform.
The Torero backline very deep from that scrum, but they're going to pick around to the short side from the split with Dennis White again. Teddy Montague with the carry.
Patient, boys, be patient.
Josiah Loifi this time, and a couple of calls from patience from the crowd is something that USD did do well in the first half, but that's stripped in contact. Referee says play on, and again it's Montague who cleans things up. Good carry there from our front row forward pod. And there's a little bit of width now, a little bit of chat. And it's our front rower Cody Going who's going to bring us up inside the 22. Urgency to get around the corner from this USD team, and urgency to drop the shoulder and have a carry against this stout Santa Barbara D. They're going to go all the way into the short side with Dennis White is absolutely met ferociously. The man who started all with the pick from the scrum, but Referee says it looks like a high one, so it is going to be a penalty. 22-20 here. It is a tight game, and the first couple of times USD found themselves down here in the first half, they haven't come away with points, so they'll want to this time, Will.
And in that decision making, they're backing themselves on the tap and go, arriving in their pods. This is Charlie Purden's absolute bread and butter. He loves this plays. 10 metres out. Can they control this ball and get over the line?
Carry with the front row pod, and then a little bit of a sweep back with Dennis White, the great ball carrier, to the short side. And they're just a couple of metres out now. Good outside latch again there from Guidici. The referee says it is held up. As you can see, the back three sprint back to cover that back field, as no doubt that Santa Barbara 10 urgent to get underway. That's a great bit of work from him. But Sur manages to get and puts one to the outside. That's JD Murray with the first touch of the ball. Spills it, as we've seen a few times today, and it's going to be a scrum down to Santa Barbara.
Shame there for that man, Murray. Daniel Sur at the back. That was the right one to go.
That was on
definitely
that time,
a dropout from the goal line dropout. He managed to get himself inside the UCSB half. That's when you wanted it. You don't need to be kicking there, but unfortunately just linking up with his winger and dropping the ball. Well, being always impressed with Daniel Sur. Enjoyed him watching in the sevens, at the West Coast Sevens. Good footballer. If they can, Toreros, you want to get the ball into his hand as much as you can.
And again, they're going for that cross field, and it's that number 14 for Santa Barbara who was wreaking havoc on our touchline, and he's over the far side now. Manages to take that cross field from your own 22. I absolutely love it. And here we are up to the halfway line, and great effort at the turnovers. A poached turnover there from USD, and the same thing which got Santa Barbara so many rewards in the first half with the poach. USD have done. They've said, we can do that too.
Much needed turnover, but what a play. What a cross kick. I have enjoyed the playmaker. The number 10 for UCSB is played with no fear. And a cross kick from inside your 22 here, and we kind of looked at each other and we nodded in approval. Things you love to see, no matter what the conditions. Great heads-up rugby.
Absolutely love it. I had thought just before that, with scrum down inside your own 22 as a 10, you're thinking, how can I exit here? Will I have a couple of phases and kick up the left-hand side, put it to touch, or do we just hit a giant cross kick in our own 22 to our right winger? It's fantastic.
Why not? That's another touch kick, not made touch. That has been, fortunately, happened a little bit too often today, and because the ball goes dead and over the dead ball line, it's going to come.
It's going to go all the way back here, but they've opted for the 22, and the 10 for Santa Barbara goes quick. Is the referee going to bring it back? Yes, he will. Try to do a little sneaky one.
I was going to say, the referees, I would hope, come back for the scrum where the kick happened from a penalty. And that is why Santa Barbara will have this scrum. So just an opportunity gone begging from Toreros. Looks like number 1 going has come off, the junior. Been impressed by him today. Scrums look really strong overall for Toreros. He's been busy around the park as well. So I think if you are part of USD Rugby, you've got yourself a strong number 1 prop forward in Cody Going.
And that's fresh meat in the front row there. Put on a big shove. And pressure is back on Santa Barbara, and no other option than to clear their lines, and it's picked up by Ronan O'Rourke, who has a little look up, throws a dummy, and has a great ball carry up the middle of the pitch. Easy forward pod, but they do well, and it's good ball placement. And it's Briggs who's standing in ready to receive, but they bounce back. Bounce back to the left again to a forward pod. A little sweep around the corner. Plenty of subs on the pitch now for USD. A few fresh legs. As the big man gets it on the edge and he beats 2 tackles. And just a little pick around the fringe, and it looks like referee has the arm up, possibly playing advantage as well. Ball scoots out, but it's regathered. Josiah Luifi with the carry. And there might be a little bit of space over to the right hand side if they can spot it. They opt to go with a forward pot again first. And again around the corner with those versatile back rowers. And it's the big man Montague who's going to put his hand up to carry now. And they are making this Santa Barbara team make tackles as Daniel Surr carries himself, has a little roll on the ground, and the clean out is good. Good battle at the breakdown there. It's left on an absolute plate there for the 9. You can hear the Santa Barbara defenders just calling, fold, fold, get around the corner as USD go the same way. Some great hits from Santa Barbara here, Will. They're still making their tackles. As bodies begin to tire a little bit. Plenty of bodies around the breakdown. Our 9 moves a little bit more. That's Sasha Cox just off the bench, driving the legs through contact as Daniel Surr puts a hand up and taps one back on the inside to number 17, Tanner Barnes. Good patience shown by Surr and O'Rourke here. Using their forwards well still, and hands are still up from all those blue and white striped players. Montague lets that one go past him, and Briggs wasn't aware of it.
And they're on here.
And one wide one, and we have fresh legs here on the edge for Santa Barbara. Can he go all the way? And it's adjudged to be a knock on. I think there was a first knock and a second one, so unfortunately that turnover.
And he was gone, Ian. He was gone. In these wide channels, they got some pace, Santa Barbara, and that was, for a moment, I couldn't quite see that second knock on or whatever it came from. What a great pass that is. Oh, you gotta wonder. That was 7 points gone.
You can see he thought he was away there, but again, good work in the turnover from the Santa Barbara 10, immediately getting it into space. But we're going to pack down here. We have some fresh legs in the front row for USD, and they really have put on a shove on last few scrums, so the pressure is on Santa Barbara here. This one goes down, referee says play on, and we will go back to our 10. Clears his lines.
Good exit from Santa Barbara.
This time O'Rourke says, I'm not going to play that one quickly. I'm going to have to go swimming if I want to play that one quickly.
I just wonder for the Toreros now, they've really been playing a passages of play with pods coming around the corner, coming in numbers. I like to see the backs now step it up a little bit, off themselves out the back. There's not any more rain there. It's actually pretty calm, pretty good conditions now. You've got to share the workload and not just expect your big man just to get yourself over the gain line. It's been patient stuff, but overall, I want to see the likes of Rapetti. I want to see Briggs back in the game, back with the ball in their hands, pulling it out the back of these pods and maybe even playing to a bit of width.
Full line out again for USD. I think Montague gets popped up in the middle, but it is a knock on. And it's going to be a scrum down to Santa Barbara. Again, like we talked about last time, pressure is being put on by this USD front row forward. I believe 2 props right off the bench with fresh legs, with still Josiah Luifi still playing, haven't started the game at hooker. And what are we going to see from this Santa Barbara team now?
Well, I'm thinking, Ian, they need to just get it out this scrum. Channel 1, hook it out, get it away, and they do just that.
Crossfield's going to come in again. And it's set up extremely well, but touch judge is a little bit late to call it out. But it is indeed, and
I tell you what, this is a great kick, Ian, and I wonder whether there was any communication, though, with his winger. Because the UCSB winger was far back, he was deep. I think he expected maybe they were going to run the ball using hands rather than being there for the crossfit. He was flatter with that kicker. he might have taken that perfectly because I thought the kick was brilliant.
He won't really mind it going for a line out here, and it's that same peel play that we've seen in the first half, except this time it's Hunter Lysom with the carry. Sur gets his hands on the ball and he's going to carry again, and the poach attempt is deemed to be illegal, as we did have a Santa Barbara player on the deck there blocking the way for the cleaners. So Ronan O'Rourke and USD will tap us back in inside the Santa Barbara half, and you talked about possibly using the backs a little bit more and varying the play a little bit. They're certainly being a little bit sensible by keeping the ball in the forwards. Haven't seen a few slips, but maybe they need to vary things a little bit.
Well, without doubt, and also, you know, I'm not saying you've got to just go play wide to wide. I like the way how they're coming in pods and they're getting over the gain line, but then there just gets a point where there seems to be just hit them with something else. As now that's just turned over, so just when I thought maybe a line out and a penalty to give themselves some territory,
Ball goes out the
UCSB
back.
get it back.
And a big one, and that's tapped in, and a little bit of pressure on Ronan O'Rourke, and he is delighted to see that one go out in the full.
Bit of a freebie there for USB, getting the turnover from the line out. Didn't make much use of where the first initial line out was. So yeah, going back to my point, Ian, I just think for the Toreros to build themselves, yes, with the big ball carriers, but fourth, fifth phase, when you've got some momentum, that's when the width might be on.
Knock on there at the line out. And again, scrappy play. Breakdown gets challenged with plenty of Santa Barbara players around. And it goes back to the Santa Barbara 10, who's going to clear his lines. He just gets clipped there a little bit as the ball goes, and Ronan O'Rourke can't feel that one. It looks like he's picked up a little bit of a knock. And he gets grabbed just as we go. Fielded well, and the carry does come from Santa Barbara. It's a big front row forward, he gives it to the edge. And he's met really well. That's again O'Rourke, but Santa Barbara up to the 22 now.
It's on out wide as well, they can get it there.
The tails are up a little bit as the front row prop drops it back to the back, but it's the second row who finds space in the middle, and he goes through. And Santa Barbara, after doing nothing but initiative with cross kicks and not even having the ball, have now strung a few phases together, and they get themselves a score.
What did we say about this UCSB team? They are a one-shot kill. They take their one opportunity and they make the absolute most of it. It was a pretty poor kick from O'Rourke, landing in the midfield, and it allowed the big number one to get that, break down that blind side, and then Toreros on the back foot. They are numbers down. And look at that, it was either going to be a score out wide and through the middle, and the number 4 for Santa Barbara gets over. Great counter-attack from the prop, and then great recognition once they got in behind the Toreros defense to move it, and they find big pockets of space for that score.
Now we have a blockbuster finish to this game now. The USD team had their meeting under the sticks. Just coming up with a game plan for just about 7 minutes left in this game. It's 25-22 right now, but you could probably feel that he'll knock this one over again and stretch it by a further 2 points, which he does. 27-22, Will.
And for Santa Barbara, they've not had the most amount of possession. They've really not even had, I think, Ian, the most amount of territory, but when they have struck gold. A lot of it coming around that number 10 for UCSB. I've been seriously impressed by his kicking game and his ability to spread the ball. As for the Toreros now, can they get something back in this last remaining 6.5 minutes?
Daniel Sur puts that one deep. And again, they try to find their 10 to boot that thing. He really has kicked well all day. He's managed territory for the Santa Barbara team.
It's not just the territory in, he's also shown it in his cross kicks, his movement of the ball as well. He's been a threat at the line. Yes, he had a few missed penalties just from, I hate to say it, realising he might need to understand. I'm not sure he's got 50 metres in him, being honest. but he's had a very impressive game, the fly-off.
Infringement at the line out there, so it will be a free kick. And Santa Barbara are in no rush to take this. But plenty of chat from the USD team. They're urgent and they feel that this game is not lost yet as the tactical crossfield kick comes in. It's fielded by J.D. Murray, who gets away from 2 tackles, and O'Rourke skips down the short side, but he's bundled into touch. A little bit of pushing and shoving here right in front of us in the commentary booth. Nothing serious, just a few handbags. Santa Barbara tossed that one in, but that is not straight, and the same infringement we saw before, as a little bit of a smile from the referee. Bit of chirp going on the pitch here, Will, isn't there?
It's getting pretty frantic now, Ian. We're into the last remaining 5 minutes. USD 22, UCSB 27. And as for the Toreros, they've had the possession, they've had more territory overall, but it is just the mistakes that is letting them down. Can they build from this scrum? I wonder whether they are going to look to still get territory because of 5 minutes left, or can they go mount an attack?
Will Briggs standing in a first receiver, and he pulls it out the back to Sur. He goes a wide one to O'Rourke, but he's caught, but manages to get it away in the tackle. And a good skip to the outside, and 1 tackle is evaded, and they're on the front foot here. As the substitute forwards and front rowers, and now our man just on the pitch there at hooker, Cole Dennis, is tackled high, and it will be advantage. Sun is coming out here now, and the crowd at USD are on their feet and they're cheering.
This is an interesting call. O'Rourke needs to make a good touch. Hasn't found always the best with the boot. That one just going inside, or just going outside the 22, and the pressure is on the liner, which for both teams has been shaky in this second half. If I was Toreros there, I mean, hindsight's a wonderful thing, but probably just tap and go. Just inject yourself back into the game, keeping hold of the ball, especially when this line-out hasn't been great. But hey, what do I know? I'm not on the field. They're going to back themselves from here.
3 minutes to go here, Will, as Montague goes up and he taps it back. It's gathered and it's a little bit messy, but it's Briggs who's going to do the cleaning. A little snipe through, and that's Sam Carlson spots the space at the fringe. And that is great opportunistic play from Sam Carlson. Saw that there was no pillar or 10 defender around the fringe and just has a pick himself and goes right through. Santa Barbara defenders ready to have a big launch. And I'm sorry, there's going to be no bodies on front of you there, because Carlson's just had the little sneaky one.
Carlson, what a moment. Been busy throughout today. Haven't mentioned his name so many times, but been everywhere, and just when you want a star man to come to the forefront and take a brilliant bit of opportunistic. No one's in front of him. He just picked through the ruck. And now this leads to a huge 2 points. Can O'Rourke get this over to take the lead with only just 2 minutes remaining? Big, big kick on that far side.
Good try, and this win will be a tricky one for O'Rourke, but we'll have a restart after as well. O'Rourke steadies himself. Couple of deep breaths. And we're nowhere near it with that one. He looks like he's picked up a little bit of a knock.
Look at this, a little replay from the try from Carlson. Love that. No one in front of him. Yes, you might have number 7 on your back, but you can still be a playmaker. You can still look what's in front of you. And because round the ruck, UCSB had no defenders, the open side flanker for the Toreros picks it up and just goes all the way. Great score from USD. It's a level game, 27-all, Ian.
A minute to go here. A penalty will do it as well, and restart goes deep. It's taken well, a lot of pressure on that one, Brandon Gradici. And O'Rourke is sitting back in the pocket, and you can also see the 10 from Santa Barbara sitting there in the backfield waiting himself. Will maybe give a go at a drop goal if they clear their lines. I could see that on the cards. He's not been shy of an unorthodox kick, I'll tell you that. Goes to Montague. He's met well right at the gain line. And a pressure finish to this one as it goes back to O'Rourke. He gathers well. It's fielded. Ball goes to the 10. And they're going to spin it wide. He evades one. Gets the pass away. Another pass away. But just slipped as he gathered. And we're just about up to the 10-metre line with Santa Barbara in possession. And they're going to go wide here again. Shapes to kick a little bit, but he's absolutely wrestled in the middle of the pitch. But looks like it was high. It'll be a penalty now. Decision time here. What do you reckon, Will? Do you tap? Do you go? It's a it's a kick from the halfway line.
I cannot believe that he's going for this kick, and I have been the biggest advocate of this young fly half for UCSB. And I hope when I say this, I don't want to put any money on the line because you never know, but considering, unfortunately, in the first half, this just looks like this is out of his reach. But why not? Maybe he's going to just prove everyone wrong. This for the win. And would be the best kick of 2025 in any competition in World Rugby. My money is safe.
Shapes and goes, doesn't make it to the 22, and USD now with a bit of the decision to make, and that is made. Sir says no more messing around. We're going to end that one 27-27. Little bit of an anticlimactical finish there with, I guess the big one would have left a dejected USD team who probably deserved to come away with points from this one.
Yeah, I think there was chances. I think they had some really good passages of play, but ill discipline and just errors at the wrong time. It's so easy to say. It's very cliche to say. But that has been probably where the Toreros have not been on the winning side of events today. As for UCSB, they have been fantastic at taking the opportunities they were given. Credit to their fly-half number 10. I thought he had a fantastic game, but overall, the points are shared in the D1A action on what's been an incredibly interesting afternoon of weather conditions. The rugby, though, has had a lot of bright sparks. 27-all, the final score in Manchester Fieldian.
Thank you very much, Will. And this broadcast today brought to you by TVX Sports Video. TVX has been covering sports in San Diego and around the country for nearly 20 years. They're committed to bringing you the best live, local and emerging sports. Smash the like button and hit subscribe to show your support for the official broadcast partner, TVX Sports. And as this US team make their way around for a little bit of a lap and a clap, let's give a shout out to their sponsors, NFP. USD Rugby is powered by teamwork, both on the pitch and in our partnerships. The Toreros would like to thank NFP for investing in our student athletes and believing in the future of our club. Through their generous support of USD Rugby, NFP has ensured that Toreros can continue to perform at the highest level. For trusted policy guidance and coverage options, head to nfp.com to see how they can support your business insurance needs. NFP and Aon Company. Also sponsoring Now Sports. Now Sports fuels USD Rugby on and off the pitch. Now Sports products are among the best in the industry, backed by world-class research, rigorous development standards, and use of high-quality ingredients. Whether you're a full-time pro or just getting back into the game, Now Sports has clean, lab-tested supplements and nutritional products you need, all without artificial colours and flavours. Together with USD, Now Sports is helping to form champions who compete with integrity. Visit nowsportshub.com to learn more about how Now Sports can fuel your performance. And you can see here mixed emotions, mixed feelings from both teams. Well fought game, 27-27. But it's a hard one after that one, isn't it? After Santa Barbara getting a couple of worldy tries. USD playing well at times, but coming away with the draw. Do you feel like that's a fair result, Will?
Two very different teams in how they went about their game today, just in terms of the excellence, or maybe even some of individual brilliance from UCSB and Toreros. Yes, working in pods, working well, but as I say, I just think there was plenty of errors on the field. You're going to expect that in the early part of this season, but maybe ultimately, overall in the end, maybe a fair reflection on what's been a really high-quality game of rugby in difficult conditions. So maybe rugby's the winner here and the points are shared, and that's the deserved outcome.
Certainly. Final score here in an enthralling game, 27-27. Stay tuned on the TVX Sports stream. There will be the B-side game coming up very soon.